He's recording the minutes in his mind's eye.
In my mind
AKA
palace.
the butthole.
What Bernie's meowing?
We're still premiering seasons.
Yeah, dude. Dropping seasons just like Mother Earth.
Yeah, this is the second season premiere of season 2.
Yeah.
222. Lots of twos going on. But hey,
Yeah.
let's just
It's,
get
you know,
it there.
666 is the sign of the devil. 222, sign sign
I've
of
been
the
watching a lot of
Bagool.
game trailers, so I have the words "world premiere" in my head right now.
Do people watch game trailers and stuff really anymore?
I do.
Yes, they do. It's just that you stop caring, Marvin. That's all.
Badass, dude. Marvin, a lot of
It's still a multi-billion-dollar industry.
You're just getting old, dude.
I guess what I'm more saying is like, do people like care about like E3?
People love it, dude.
E3's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I mean.
So what
like,
has replaced
bring
it
back
is Summer
E3.
Games Fest and various other like trailer direct shows that all keep like shifting around every year.
the Game Awards, I guess.
The Gamies?
So like there's two major Jeff Keighley events now: the Summer Games Fest and the Game Awards.
The Games Fest is a Jeff Keighley event as well. That
You know
fucker
what?
is trying to
Guys,
corner the market on everything.
They really.
Well, some people have colloquially dubbed it Key 3
That's pretty good.
It's essentially the replacement.
There's
That's
a
what it
huge
is now.
confusion with the Gamies because there's the Gamies like the Game Awards, and then
Yeah.
there's the
About meat?
Gamies. The Gamies are this website
It's
where
all about
it's just
frontier meat.
Now it's gay men taking pictures of themselves.
Oh.
Gamies.
Okay.
So there's confusion with that.
But there's
see.
the annoying part is that there is another one called the VGAs, the Video Game Awards.
and
So you
then
have
they're
TGA.
confusing with the vaginal awards.
I will
Yeah,
give
crazy.
it to Jeff though. He himself does not mess that up. He always says
Bezos?
the
Yeah.
VGAs and never like stumbles and says the A awards.
Mm.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I was doing a bit. Now I'm confused.
No, you were actually
I've been
saying
confused.
complete factual
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
Yeah,
That was all
factual
true.
things about gay me's.
Yeah.
Yeah, then those Nintendo avatars that are especially gay.
Oh my god, that's a good like game and dating app, dude. Gamies.
Yeah. Or
Jeez.
gamers like our old coworker.
Yeah.
Who was like, yeah. So
Happy
you know.
Pride Month, everyone.
Yay.
May the pride be
Happy-
with you.
That's why we're talking so much about.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. And
Uh,
also
You know what, dude?
What are we doing here?
We're gonna get canceled by YouTube. I feel like,
that's
soon.
very easy. I mean, YouTube could cancel anyone at the drop of a hat for anything.
Yeah, it's true.
nuts.
Yeah.
They'll just do it. So,
Cancel.
well, the homecoming, the season premiere of Deep
The
Space
Downcoming.
Nine,
Yeah.
season 2, the town coming. This is very different type of episode, almost kind of, but
Says who?
It feels like a shift in
Does
the
it?
show overall, almost a bit.
yeah,
Really?
I think Dan catches on to what I'm talking about. Yeah.
what are you talking about?
Well, just the feel of it. It suddenly does not feel like a Star Trek show.
Suddenly,
as we know
it feels less
Really?
like they're only concerned with the episode at hand.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's
I guess
more of
so.
like they're
Although,
they're
granted,
going,
this is a to be continued, as though it's like a two-parter.
Yeah.
So,
So we don't know
like,
this, dude. Because
Yeah, so we
notoriously
can't-
two-parters suck, dude.
Yeah,
I will
that's
say
true.
this, dude. It's also there's a new horizon in the forefront.
Hmm.
I never saw Kira as like, oh, there's a sexy lady. But in this
Oh.
episode, let me tell you what, dude.
Oh, do you like
There was,
her?
there was an awakening.
Do you like her like infiltration outfit? Is that what you're
Yeah,
into?
dude. It was the outfit, I think. It was her wares that they got me.
It just looks
You know
like
what?
she's,
Yeah.
I don't know, going exploring. I don't know. Like, it's
Maybe
like a
that's
weird.
what it was, dude.
her
Like slutty
spelunking
ladies.
outfit.
I don't know.
It's
something
surprisingly form-fitting considering what it is.
Yeah, I have to
Well,
explore that. about
that way
myself.
the lasers get past her more easily. You know, less surface area
friction,
to shoot at.
less friction.
Yeah, it's like quiet.
Here's the thing.
She has to breathe.
What about
You say
Miles'
this.
outfit? There's no love for Miles' outfit.
Oh, I mean,
Nah,
there's
dude.
always love for Miles in
Miles
general.
is the homie, man. He doesn't
Yeah.
care about his life at all.
I
Or
know.
his family.
Okay.
Or his family.
Yeah, I was
he's
like,
like,
Saturday Night Live.
we're not leaving unless we get this guy. And he's like,
Yeah,
no
yeah.
problem, dude.
Yeah.
No problem. I have nothing at home like waiting
Yeah.
for me anyway.
No worries. I'm a single man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Miles was on the verge of saying that sounds like a win-win to me. You know.
I
He's like, you
love
know
it.
what? He's like, that's how I roll.
It's just that, like, I think of the alternative and how, like, annoyed I would be if Miles just kept on withholding himself from every mission because, like, sorry, got the wife and kid at home.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
know.
like,
He's the opposite. He's like,
risk your life.
He's the opposite. There's a movie called Narc, and one of the lines is like Ray Liotta's telling his partner like about his wife died, and he's like I became a better cop when my wife died, because I'm the first one through the door now. Like a drug bust and stuff, and this this is exactly like Miles O'Brien. Yeah. He's like, even though he's married with a child,
even though they're all alive,
like she's dead.
Yeah. He's like, we need somebody to infiltrate the door
Getting
first.
Married
he's like,
made me a better cop.
You better come. I'm the first one through the door
because I can't wait to get away.
Yeah.
But the homecoming.
He's like, may Bagul smite me.
Well, actually. It's interesting you mentioned suddenly you're like, oh, Kira, because maybe it's because, okay, to me, I have actually felt that way about Kira the entire time. In fact, out of all of the Star Trek characters, I think she's potentially the most attractive to me in general.
Yeah.
Oh no, the most attractive character is the worm lady.
I think the reason for the worm lady for me is just that like she has like zero personality. She's just kind of just there. Just
so far,
anything.
She's really not. Yeah. She's pretty.
Do you mean Dax?
Closed off.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dax Shepard.
She's kind of just there. Right?
I don't know. Well, you have you like the short hair thing, right?
Not necessarily. I'm just saying. But
I don't know.
Well, I might also accidentally get into
there with Kira yet.
Yeah, I don't want to get in the realm of spoilers, so I will just
really
stop
the best character to fuck in Star Trek.
You've already spoiled that she gets really hot.
Look, no one's asked me, but I'll tell you, best character to fuck is Odo.
Oh, I mean, you've said that. You've actually talked about how he can conform.
You can make as many holes as you want, dude. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, how many do you need?
I mean,
how many do you
Dan's
need?
Like what? I'm not sure how many.
How many do you individually?
How many does one person need?
I don't know, dude.
Well, depends. You don't know until you have the options.
I know, dude.
So I guess.
Yeah.
I guess
the exciting.
He could service a whole room if necessary. I mean,
exactly, dude. He become just a bunch of holes.
I mean, it depends. But the Homecoming, it aired a week after TNG on September 26, 1993. So we do indeed need to enter the wormhole.
Wow, it's been a while since we've been able to do both so close to each other. For one, I should have brought this up last week while we were still talking about TNG. But in September, the Next Generation had a set of video games released, developed by Absolute Entertainment for 3 different platforms: the Nintendo, Game Boy, and Game Gear. But only the Game Gear box had the additional title, the Advanced Holodeck Tutorial. And there's actually a TV commercial I found that explains this premise. And yeah, the game is actually just about you doing a bunch of simulated missions in the holodeck instead of doing anything for real, which is a funny framing device for a game. But my suspicion is that it was their way of keeping it really modest and essentially UI focused, because most of the game looks like an LCARS setup that shows you portraits and text and stuff.
Oh, but that's not how the holodeck works at all, though. The holodeck's supposed to be super hyper realistic and
I know, but that was what they came up with to make it this is you doing missions.
It's almost like they haven't watched Star Trek at all.
I mean, they did what they could with the writing. Apparently, the fans were, it was fun enough. But within that week, on the 24th, a lot of stuff happened on the 24th because it was the Friday. We had the release of Myst, the original video game.
Oh, Myst.
Yes, Myst.
That's what I always called it as a kid.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, there's a Y in it, so I just thought it's like how I always used to call it Thailand instead of Thailand because it's TH. So I was like,
I'll bet. I think I probably had. I probably said Thailand at some point. Yeah, Thailand sounds pretty common.
Well, nobody.
It's THI. It's THAI.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Thailand.
And my dad didn't correct me for a year. We were going to original. I'm about to say Thai barbecue.
Give him a break. He's ESL.
Maybe he thought I learned the correct pronunciation at school.
Yeah, he was like, oh.
And he was like, wait a minute. And then a year later, he's like, no, Marvin's wrong. I should correct
He's living the American dream, Marvin. He's learning the real English. Also debuted on the 24th was Boy Meets World as part of the TGIF block. It was a pilot episode.
Oh. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Also released in movies, The Good Son, starring Macaulay Culkin and Elijah Wood. Dazed and Confused by Richard Linklater.
Oh my God, I think I remember that movie.
Which one? The Good Son?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never seen it. Yeah.
I think Macaulay Culkin was like an evil kid in that movie. He was like a bad kid.
He played a villain? Oh, that's interesting.
He wasn't the good son at all.
He wasn't like, oh, he's not a good kid. No, he was like an evil kid. It was really good.
That's very against type for Macaulay Culkin.
It was like Dio.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'm looking at the poster for The Good Son.
Dio.
Yeah, it's like Macaulay Culkin has like a sinister look, and the tagline is "Evil has many faces." Wow. Okay. So
more like the best.
Spoiler alert: The Good Son is Elijah Wood.
Oh, well, that sounds like it. Yeah.
Spoiler.
Finally, in movies, Morgan Freeman and Robert De Niro both had their directorial debuts on the same weekend. How about that? They were both based on plays. Morgan Freeman released Bofa, and Robert De Niro released A Bronx Tale.
What's Bofa? I never heard of that.
Apparently, it's about like a cop in South Africa during apartheid.
Oh, yeah. Morgan Freeman was interested in that topic.
And Danny Glover was like the star of that one.
Oh, interesting. Okay. All right.
Yeah, but just an interesting bit of trivia. Directorial debuts from two major, prominent actors on the same weekend. How about that?
Okay. All right.
And that concludes our trip to the wormhole.
Oh, well, thank you, Dan. Well, let's do a quick trip through our sponsors. This week, if you were thinking about an extra wallet for your dad, it's too late. I'm sorry. It's already too late for Father's Day. However,
you can still get it for him. It just won't be special, and he won't thank you for it.
Yeah, he'll just be like, "Oh, okay, there's a wallet," but you could get one for yourself, maybe. No, thank you. I mean, you can still get one for yourself, you know.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's I'm gonna lay it out.
Oh my God.
If you told your mom, this would be really rude, but not to a dad. Okay. If you said, "Hey, if you told mom, I ordered you something that you're gonna love, but it's gonna take a while. It's not gonna be here for Mother's Day. I'm sorry." You know, that'd be kind of rude. But if you did it to like a dad, and you're like, "This is what I got you, dude," but it's coming in like 3 weeks, he'd be like, "I don't give a shit. It looks awesome."
That's true. I feel like mom would be okay too. I don't know. I don't see why mom would be.
Yeah, but it would be more. It would be more rude, I think. But a dad would be like, "I don't give a fuck." That's awesome.
Oh, interesting. I mean, like, do you? I don't know. I feel like that's generally fine with people in general. I don't know. Like, why do you think it's different for moms?
I don't know. Because mine's dead.
Well, anyway, if you guys want to know what Extra is all about, it's got those nice little compact wallets with the quick access buttons, lets you fan out your cards with the flick of a button. And, they have their new Wallet Pro, but you can also check out their Card Holder Pro and their regular Extra wallet and card holder. And, they have their whole Grid backpack series, the Grid backpack, the what's it called? Grid duffel bag, weekend bag, key fobs, all that sort of stuff. You can check it out going to ekster.com. That's ekster.com. Use our offer code Newbie when you check out for an additional 10% off any order site-wide. So again, if you want to check that out, just go to ekster.com, ekster.com. And you know what? All the products have free shipping, free returns within 100 days of receiving your order, and at least a 24-month warranty on all products. In fact, if you get either of the Pro wallets, the Extra Wallet Pro or the Card Holder Pro, that's a lifetime warranty. So again, head on over to ekster.com, use our offer code Newbie for 10% off additionally off of any order site-wide. And I say additional because it stacks with your ongoing sales. So yeah. All right, our next sponsor, ExpressVPN. Not only are they our next sponsor, they've also been our longest sponsor. And you know why? Because we've used them personally since before the podcast even started. And also, they've always been super reliable, super secure, and like their name suggests, also super fast. What do you mean have we? Yeah, we have. We used them before the podcast before. I even referred you to ExpressVPN when you were asking me about VPNs before we even.
Yeah, dude.
No. Actually, that was in the middle of the podcast because you had a different VPN you were using while we were on the podcast, and later you asked me about it.
Let's not rewrite history here. People will call us out.
Yeah. That's what happened. But anyway, the reason why I'd personally been using ExpressVPN for a long time and, asked them to be a sponsor is because it's pretty cool. Because you know what? They have 3,000 plus servers and 160 locations spanning 105 countries. They work on pretty much every device you can think of. If you have a device, there's an app for it. It actually works properly with streaming services because they keep rotating their IPs so they can't be blacklisted very easily. And like the name suggests, it's also super fast. You can get up to 10 gigabit speed, which is legitimately faster than most of your computers can connect to a network. So,
especially if you're using Netgear, you know? Netgear?
And you know what?
That Marvin thinks your computers suck.
Yeah, dude. That is an indictment on people. You're really saying like you guys don't have fast internet, dude.
No, it's not even internet. It's like the computer. Most computers do not have a beyond 1 gigabit connection. Even many modern motherboards have a 2.5 gig port, but not a 10 gig port. 10 gig is usually like a separate card.
I feel like our fans are really techie, dude, and they have a 10 gig card, dude, on their computers.
I mean, like one of our Discord members, we actually like found a new, because he was looking for a new computer, so we put together a build for him. Even that did not come with a 10. Didn't come with a 10 gig card.
The computer was usually free. The device was free. I want to clarify.
10 gig is usually like a server add-on. You know, like these days actually. You know what? I'm incorrect. It's like a Mac, like M
the Mac now
series. Yeah, the M series have 10 gig NICs now.
Big old thick NICs, if you know what I mean.
If you're a Mac user and you have a modern M series chip, I'm sorry.
If you like good computers and you're a Mac user,
yeah. But then you can get full access to 10 gig speed off of ExpressVPN, which would be pretty sick. So if you go to expressvpn.com/newbie Star Trek and we sign up for 2 years, not only will you get an extra 4 months for free, you'll also get the entire Identity Defender suite, which is a bunch of other services they include if you get that package. One of which is advanced protection. That's like ad blocker built in, a tracker blocker built in. That's really cool. You get ID alerts. Where basically they have a service that scans the internet to see if your passwords or your address or your social security number got leaked.
Scans all your all the comments you put on Pornhub.
Yeah, and make sure none of it can get back to you. You know, they make sure. Oh my God, someone's connected it back to you.
Yeah, so this guy put his address in the Pornhub.
Why did you put your address in your Pornhub comment?
Yeah,
if you don't want to be tracked, don't log in as yourself.
Yeah, log in as first.
Yeah, let's do that first. But also it comes with ID theft insurance, a credit scanner, and even a data removal service, which is pretty cool.
Here's my testimonial.
Oh my God.
I had the 1 year package. I might have had like over. So I got it. I had it before they were our sponsor, right?
Right.
And then I renewed it and I got it with our code and I got the year plus those extra few months, right? And now it's over. My deal's over. It's ending literally in 3 days, 2 days actually. And I'm gonna let it lapse and start another one because if I just renew it, I'll get 2 years, right, for a good price. I think I say it's like $139 for 2 years if I pay up front, right?
Right.
But if I do it as a new user with our code, I get those extra few months for free, and I'm cheap and I like free stuff. So I'll get those free for a couple months. I hope ExpressVPN's not listening and seeing what I'm doing.
Well, hopefully they're cool with you gaming their codes.
Yeah,
I think in general they are because they. Just to be transparent, VPNs, the profit margin on a VPN is gigantic. Yeah. There's a reason they can offer a package that's essentially like over 80% off.
Well, because Turkey.
Yeah,
they're getting.
That's a long story with Turkey.
At this point, referencing Turkey is like not good to do.
Is Turkey
going too much explanation?
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, look, if you're going to Turkey, you can use an ExpressVPN because then you could go into any website. But I use ExpressVPN primarily because I don't want my ISP spying on me. But also, I like to explore. I like to be like a digital nomad, but of movies. You know, you you put it on, go to Netflix.
You can be anywhere.
Disney Plus, and you could be anywhere, dude. A little vacation in the comfort of your home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? If you want to go on a little digital vacation of your own, you can head on over to expressvpn.com/newbie Star Trek. And again, if you sign up for 2 years, not only are they going to give you an extra 4 months for free on top of that,
dude.
Plus
that's what I'm in for.
You'll also get the Identity Defender suite, which is a pretty sweet deal. All right. So with this new season of DS9, unfortunately, we no longer have Denise Crosby with us. So
What?
we're instead going to
She
have
died?
no, she's fine. She lost her house in the fires, but otherwise she's fine.
Oh, okay.
We are going to have.
You think Venom took her house?
He came to try to finish the job.
That would be ironic if it was Tom Hardy who took her house. Yeah.
But we will have a different person asking
Oh.
Ricardo the question.
Ricardo, Nana visitor here. Could you please tell us what happened in this episode?
What the fuck?
Oh, dude.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned
What?
Kira, and you were like, "Oh my gosh,
Dude,
Kira."
I hope she doesn't listen to this because then she's going to be like, oh, that creeper fucking.
Wait, what the
said she's-
fuck? That's crazy.
Yeah. Did you know this?
What were
yeah,
you
I
gonna
think-
you just surprising us with all this?
Yeah. I'm not gonna.
What? When? How? What?
Oh, it's to be frank, it's just a cameo.
Yeah.
She's on Cameo?
Yeah, she's on Cameo. So yeah.
Nice.
So to be frank, she was also really seemed to be really cool with just doing it for the podcast. So there you go.
Nice.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
Thank you, Nana.
Nice,
Oh, wow.
dude.
Okay.
Very
And
cool.
it sounds just
And it's-
like her.
Yeah. It's almost like she recorded it herself.
Well, you know how sometimes actors
Yeah, I guess,
actually
yeah.
do change how they sound
Yeah.
after a couple decades,
Oh yeah.
you know?
Oh yeah.
Well,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
different. It's like before it was like, can you please tell us what happened in this episode?
Yeah, Denise had like a very precise pronunciation.
It was like a radio. It was a radio read. You know what I mean? She
Mhm.
gave us a radio read.
I want to see the actual video of it later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay,
gotta.
yeah,
Yeah,
video.
is there a video?
Oh, it's
It
video.
has to
But
be.
you'll see on the YouTube version when it
Oh,
comes
Oh,
what?
out.
damn, dude. Did
Yeah,
you make
yeah,
her a
you'll-
cartoon?
So crazy.
Oh no, it's like the same with Denise Crosby.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
just came
Okay.
up like her clip. Because I
I'm
don't
not
want to.
gonna lie,
I don't
I
want
haven't seen
to.
that.
I don't want to
on YouTube.
pretend like because then people are gonna be like, "Is that really her? What are you doing?" And it's like, no. Here's the actual video she
Yeah.
made from Cameo. You know, there you go.
Oh my
That's
God,
very
that's
cool, dude.
crazy.
I'm color me
Wow.
surprised, dude.
Nice.
That's such an interesting name too, Nana. She calls herself Nana.
Yeah. So
What's
it's
her name,
actually
no?
Scott who corrected me because I kept saying Nana visitor. He's like,
Yeah.
no, it's actually Nana. I was like, oh,
Nana.
that's really interesting. And like, I'm not sure why. I actually don't know what like her like cultural background and stuff is.
Yeah,
So,
well, like where did Nana come from? Because you called her
Well,
Nana.
she's a visitor
right?
wherever she's from. Hmm?
but her interesting.
Her birth name is Tucker. Nana Tucker.
Yeah, actually, you're right. Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Nana.
And she's the niece of actress dancer Sid Charisse, and Sid Charisse is just a lady from Texas. So I don't know. She's just she's just
Her
American.
dad's
I guess.
also Robert Tucker.
Oh, okay. Is that
who's in the
someone?
music department for like West Side Story? So
He worked on West Side Story. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
actually, a lot
musical.
more movies than that. It's just the most. He worked on The Sound of Music. My
Oh,
Fair
wow.
Lady. It seems like a lot of
That's her dad?
like
Wow.
like 60s musicals and shit. Yeah,
Wow, that's beautiful. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. Don't cry
Alright.
for me, Argentina.
Oh.
Damn, dude. I have
Well,
an
that's
angel's
cool.
voice.
Well, thanks for that was a crazy surprise.
Yeah, dude.
Anaheim loves you.
Imagine like Frank Sinatra singing, and after he sings the
Yeah,
song,
and
it's
then
like,
saying
damn, I
that.
got a good one.
That'd be awesome, dude. I would pay to hear that recording, like Frank Sinatra from The Sands, and he's like,
Yeah, yeah,
"My
yeah.
way." He's like, "Oh boy, I have an angel's voice."
I can imagine William Shatner doing that. He's like, he does
for
like,
sure.
he does like
and
a
not
lounge
ironically,
song.
like he
Yeah.
really thought.
You know, one of the most cringe things I've ever
Captain
heard
Kirk
a film.
has climbed the mountain. Why is he climbing the mountain?
Yeah,
One of the most cringe things I've ever heard a filmmaker say was there was this panel where it was both Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino at Comic-Con on a panel promoting the what was it called?
That sounds
Grindhouse.
cringe already.
yeah.
Their double
I might
feature.
have been. I might have been at
Grindhouse.
that
Grindhouse
that panel.
Yeah. Okay. So you might remember this moment then, where like someone asked Quentin about like how do you feel about your older movies compared to what you're making now? Like there's clearly been an
Yeah.
evolution, but also the same style. He's curious. And Quentin starts talking about Reservoir Dogs, and he goes like, "Hey, back when I started doing Reservoir Dogs, and it was a pretty fucking good movie, And then he's also like, come on, everybody, just admit it. It's a really Reservoir Dogs is a really fucking good movie." And then like the guy who asked questions like, "Oh yeah," and Robert Rodriguez is next to him going, "Yeah." It's was just like this really like awkward like.
I refuse to move on until you acknowledge it.
Yeah, someone.
Yeah, that was actually the tone where it was kind of like they weren't like cheering for Reservoir Dogs, basically. So like
they weren't cheering enough.
Reservoir Dogs was his geode.
Yeah. By the way, I just rewatched all of his movies. It still
all
holds
of
up.
them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why?
That's so interesting.
Because they just came out in 4K, and I just started watching some of them.
Oh, okay.
And then like once I started, I couldn't stop. And some of them aren't in 4K, but I still watch them.
Okay.
I think my favorite is Jackie Brown. I'm just putting it out there.
Jackie Brown's
Said that
good.
before.
Yeah. I like this episode of Deep Space Nine a lot because the ending is pretty much the ending of The Dark Knight. You know,
I was about to say it's the ending is kind of like The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, where it's kind of like
what ending? It's a fucking continue.
Well, no, I meant like
ending. It does end.
There was an end, like the ending of the this dude, this Chak Maha, or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Benjamin Horn from Twin Peaks.
Benjamin Horn. Yeah.
Is that
also, to be fair,
yeah, he was in Twin Peaks. He was.
Shit!
He looks
my god, I did not
He's the guy who
recognize
owns
him.
the hotel.
Yeah.
He's the guy we thought. Isn't he the guy we thought was Ray Wise?
Audrey's dad.
No, that's not the Ray Wise guy. But
No,
he
not Ray
is.
Wise.
Yeah, you're right. That is the hotel owner from Twin
I knew
Peaks.
he looked familiar.
But I was to say the episode basically would have been a self-enclosed episode if he didn't have that last scene where he comes back reelected and goes, by the way, I'm the new liaison. You know, if that scene didn't happen, the episode would have had an ending. So that scene was basically added so they could have to be continued. Yeah. Otherwise, it was a complete episode on its own. So I find that interesting because that seems to be very differently written than any other two-parter so far, where it was very clearly like set up for like a bigger conclusion. Whereas this is like, no, we had a beginning and end. Like it all ended already. We just have a little more to say afterward. So I don't know.
I feel like you didn't need. I mean, yeah, I guess you do need this for the two-parter, but I guess you did need it, but. Because I don't know what happened in part 2, but I'm like,
right.
Oh man, I like how it ended. Like how he's like basically like, yeah, like your myth took on, you know, a life of its own, but we need that. Do you know what I mean? It's like the Dark Knight shit, you know?
Well, it feels more like modern TV.
Yeah, now that I think about it, there's a lot of stories and movies that use this theme, I guess, this type that like.
Yeah.
Trope. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. This trope where. Remember in Black Sails, they kind of used it too with Silver.
Oh, yeah. You were talking
Which
about
one are you talking about specifically? Which trope?
The trope of becoming a myth, like a legend, and based on what people need at the time, and you've become
people keep
like
attributing bigger and bigger like feats to this guy.
Yeah, it was kind of like in Black Sails, they did that with John Silver.
Long John Silver,
where like they were like, you know what? We're just gonna make this guy
the shrimp guy.
Yeah. Exactly. The shrimp.
Yeah, where Black Sails ends right before he opens the restaurant.
The first one. And his best friend is Colonel Sanders.
Yeah,
it's the origins of all the fast food guys.
That's where that's where the entire series leads up to him. Right?
He's before I've been fighting the Spaniard, Senor Taco Bell.
That was a Spanish-American war. It was actually the Long John Silvers versus Taco Bell.
Yeah.
So it's a common trope that's used, this like personification of what people need from a person. I guess I didn't realize how common it is until now, just recently.
Common knew how common it is.
Yeah, but I feel like the most famous version of it is the John Ford Man Who Shot Liberty Valance version. Like, because even with the quote, you know, when the fact
I don't know about these days, but sure.
That's true.
I think more people would know Dark Knight than they would know.
People will probably,
Man Who Shot
I kind of
Liberty
agree with
Valance.
that.
Yeah.
But in the Dark Knight, it's more that he needs to be a villain in order to.
I mean, either way, it's a myth that he's using. You know what I mean? For
right.
Good.
I guess so. Yeah. Although even in the Dark Knight, it's just more that he is taking on guilt, like taking on the
crime.
Crime.
Take it, dude. Because
but it's not like he's doing it to inspire people.
We'll hunt him.
He's doing it to.
I mean, he inspired people, and then remember he did inspire people. to just.
Well, that's because they had a time.
He's the hero that this city needs to deserve.
Yeah. Not the one it wanted, but the one.
Yeah.
Not the one it deserves or wants, but the one that it needs and deserves.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
But not later. Later, they need the one who can carry a bomb up into the sky and blow it up in the distance. That's the hero.
Let me tell you about this fucking episode, please. Let me tell you about this episode.
Marvin, shut the fuck up.
There's a couple things that we didn't need at all for this episode, I guess. But I guess because we want to because of the radical group. I forget what they're called.
The circle.
Oh, you don't think the radical group is needed at all?
The fucking
No. I was
circle.
thinking like there's a scene where like there's a couple scenes. So there's a couple. This episode starts off and Odo goes to the Quacker and says, "Hey, bro, you hooked me up with some info."
Mhm.
And you think as an audience member, you're like, oh, he just diverted like attention to like so he could do some shady shit. And he's like,
Right.
You were right, dude. I arrested some people, dude. You know, and even Odo's like, what the hell, dude?
What's the catch?
Yeah, what's the catch? And the Quacker's like,
I have a problem with that
I told
scene.
you, we're gonna be homies from now on.
You have a problem with it?
Yeah,
I have a problem with it in the sense that we have already seen Quark demonstrate that every so often he's a stand-up guy and he tells the truth sometimes.
He's been a stand-up guy since A Man Alone, where he defends Odo and then
There's
helps
been
find
plenty
evidence.
of other opportunities for Quark to give this pitch to him, and it's just weird that it happens now.
I know.
Well, there's a reason they're trying to do that whole parallel thing.
Yeah, they're doing a specific parallel this time.
Yeah,
which is why. Yeah.
I wish they hadn't because it's
I don't
much
think it's
better.
needed.
It's much better unsaid than it is. You know what I mean? Like it just. I like that about the relationship. Like it just. I'd rather them just never say we're homies, dude. You know?
Well, in this case, I think they're doing it specifically because they want the audience to keep that in mind when they see Gul Dukat being like, "Well, we are at peace, are we not?" You know, we were returning.
But I don't think that's. I think that's assuming the audience is dumber than they actually are. Like, I don't think if they made it like so obvious, like, oh, okay, this is supposed to mirror the scene that we saw. That everyone has their secret intentions. I think we can already assume that without the scene. So
I think it's helpful for some audiences, you know, because it's not always going to be that obvious to a lot of people. So I think it could.
Well, I don't know what really is like.
Yeah,
this doesn't seem like something that needs to be kept from people. It's like Cardassians are always scheming. That's to be assumed.
There's always in this case, you can assume there's an ulterior motive.
Like, why would we need a tip off from Quark and Odo about that?
Yeah.
You know what? That's also a fair point. Yeah, it doesn't have to be so explicit because even in that scene, I mean, we skipped ahead a bit, but even in that scene, Sisko tells Kira, "Look, I know he's probably scheming something up, but let's just call it a win that we got everybody back, and they're returning those other prisoners."
Sure, that would have been enough. Personally.
Yeah, so I guess so. Yeah.
So let's go back. So you have Odo and him saying like, "Oh, we're homies," blah blah, and then Quark.
Quartz is pretty good. I like that.
He's like, hey, he's going up. Is this before or after the counting the money? Oh no, it's before. Sorry. Okay. So So he's going up the ladder to do some shit in the second floor, and there's this lady that kind of resembles. She's giving me like Catwoman vibes, right?
Mm-hmm.
A little bit, a little bit like I'm a cat burglar vibes.
Like a career criminal sort of.
Yeah.
And she's like,
steals jewels.
Yeah. She's like, what's up, Quartz? What's up with your ears, baby? And then he gets all horned up, dude. He's like ready to do whatever she wants to. And he's like, oh, I'm just, like she does the whole like she really seduces him and tricks him into doing some stupid shit. You know what I mean? Like,
don't they say some pretty explicit stuff in this scene? I forgot. Like, I remember being really forward. I don't know.
mean, she basically, I think her first line.
Okay, maybe it's that shot they have of him, that reverse shot of him looking up, like, and then you see her and it's like this crazy angle. We're just like looking up at her. I'm like, that's a crazy shot.
That's it. That's one of them.
Extreme low angle.
There's a couple of things. So like she says, how are your lobes? So clearly,
exactly.
Clearly, like it's like her saying like, how's your dick, dude? Yeah.
I think she's basically being like, how we fucked pretty hard last time. Is your dick fine? It's kind of the same.
Is your ears okay?
Oh, I know what it is. He also like licked his he dipped his pinky in her drink or whatever. I don't know what the fuck that was.
And he was
I missed that.
Such a sexual move.
Well, he tastes it and he says another black hole. Like the drink is called.
Oh
the black hole.
yeah.
But I thought it's funny when he first did it. I had to rewind it because I'm like, is he doing? I thought he had done the cocaine thing where you you grab something, you put it in your gums. And I'm like, was that drugs? And then because I didn't see the cup at first.
Yeah.
But he's just tasting the glass, and he's like,
he wants to know what drink she has. So he's
but that's a weird way to I don't know.
I mean, he's doing it very intentionally in a explicit way. So
Well, it's clear that they're very familiar with each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
They definitely courts the gazonks, if you know what I mean.
I don't presume that Quark would dip his finger into anyone else's drink, that's not his default.
No, I think
I don't want anyone putting their fucking hands in my drink. I don't care who
that's
you are.
That's a move of somebody who has been intimate with somebody,
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. Don't put your fucking hands in my drink, ew.
It's okay, Sarah. It's okay.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Well, Sarah, people do put their hands in your food when they're making it. So you're eating food that's been manhandled by more than one person, by the way.
I am fine with that. Just don't put your hand in my drink that I'm already drinking. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird anyway.
Well, anyway, the food still goes in your mouth though.
Mm-hmm.
So they have her kind of seduce him and be like, hey, I got this thing from this maintenance dude, and I have to just show it to somebody who's short, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, I'll do it, baby, don't worry. And so he takes it. It's like it's an earring, but it looks like a keychain kind of.
Right.
And he knocks in Kira's?
Yeah, it's Kira's
quarters.
Kira's house. Yeah, Kira's apartment. And he's like, hey, what's up, baby? And he's trying to deliver this thing, but I feel like Worth is always trying to get laid.
In that
she's
apartment?
praying.
Oh, she's praying. She's praying.
Yeah.
That's how
she's doing
Bajorans
some sort of religious ritual.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's always trying to hook up with the ladies, this guy.
Well, in particular,
to paint, he has a particular crush on Kira that they've shown throughout the series so far.
In the very first episode, he's like, "Oh, I like a woman in uniform." So,
that's right. So he goes to his apartment and he's like all up in there, dude. He's like, oh, I've never been here. Ooh,
your bedroom.
Here? Yeah, he's giving real Jeff Goldblum vibes, real ooh, what's happening in the bedroom? Ooh, it's over here.
You have a piano. Let me tickle the ivories.
Let me tickle these ivories. And he shows her the earring and he's like, oh my God, that's Shao Kahn's fucking, I don't know his fucking name, dude. But he's he's a leader, of the Cobra Kai. What he's some sort of leader, dude.
Yeah.
And these earrings must be fucking
the rebellion,
famous, dude.
right?
Yeah.
Some kind
of
rebellious.
Nallis for those at home.
Yeah. What's his name?
Lee Nallis.
Nelly. I'm gonna go with Nelly.
How do they recognize you just by your earring? Is it that personalized where you would recognize someone's?
Everybody's earrings are
different? What would that be comparable to?
They say so, but I'll bet that over the course of the series, it doesn't pan out.
Yeah. Canonically, everyone is supposed to have a completely unique earring, and the earring is supposed to be. From what I remember, I think the earring contains a symbol of the family, and then it contains your personal symbol. I think.
Oh.
So it's almost like a coat of arms, but in your ear.
Okay. So that's what it would be comparable to here, some kind of family coat of arms or something.
I could be wrong.
You would be able to identify.
But I think that's how they do it. I think it's literally the family symbol and then the person.
Because I was like, how would you know at all without knowing this person personally that this is their...
Well, that's enough to make them suspect, but then they also corroborate by having Dax do the dermal sample, DNA.
Right, the DNA.
matching.
Was it Dax or was it Bashir? Was it Dax?
I think they said it was Dax.
Oh, it might have been Dax.
For whatever
too,
reason. Yeah. I don't know why they said it was Dax, but I think they said it was Dax.
So she knows immediately that it's this Count Dooku's dude's fucking earring. And she's like, oh, where did you fucking get this? And he's like, oh, this dude who's a maintenance worker got it in Yavin 5 or what was the Yavin one number?
Cardassia 4.
Cardassia 4, yeah.
And he's like, Cardassia 4, and he's like, oh shit. So we find out that they should have let basically the POWs out. They should have no POWs. War is
supposed to be over. There's supposed to be no more.
They should have no POWs at all, and yet they seem to.
Yeah.
Wasn't that part of the agreement?
Yeah, and the Dooku guy, he was supposed to have been dead, but they never found his body. So then they do the test and they're like, oh, this definitely is his earring, dude. It's got his fucking gunk on it, dude.
Yeah.
And so basically she has to go. Oh, there's another thing that happens that I actually like this part. That is really funny. Cisco is his name?
Yeah.
Cisco the dragon. He goes to his dad. No,
that's Jake. No, Jake goes to Cisco.
Jake Jake goes to Cisco and he's like,
well, they're both Cisco. Jake goes to Ben.
That's true. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And he goes, hey, I need advice. And he's like, oh, what do you need, dude? Like, Yeah. He's like, you
By
need
the
to know
way,
how to talk to a lady.
Have you noticed how fucking tall Jake is now? Like he's growing on the show. He's doing a Boyhood before our eyes.
It is. This was typical of like season between seasons.
Exactly. He had a growth spurt through the hiatus.
But even throughout the course of season 1, you saw him growing.
Oh yeah, he was definitely way shorter in the first few episodes.
But I find that really gratifying to see is that like you're actually watching a child grow up. And he's having like parental interactions. It's almost like, oh,
it's a little sad that he has to work.
He liked it. He's having fun. It wasn't like with
a child actor,
Will Wheaton, who fucking hated it and really wanted to leave the show because they treated him like shit. They actually treated the actor who plays Jake much better. So that's good.
Yeah, they learned a lesson. Yeah, so he goes, no, I already asked her out. She said yes, but I just want to know what we're gonna do. And he's like, oh, what are you planning to do? And he's like, I'm thinking of taking her a holodeck, dude. And he's like, whoa,
that's like a parent's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, don't do that, dude.
Don't do that.
Even if I'll bring her back to the house then. And he's like, no, don't do that either, dude.
Don't do that either.
Go somewhere public for your first date, dude. And he's like, you can't get down in public, dude. I'll get arrested.
Yeah. I never thought about that. I'm like, how and where do you date on this station privately? There's no
everyone knows your business. There's so much
the promenade and then your quarters.
Much gossiping. Yeah. So much gossiping, dude. Like,
I'm sure there is.
You see Jake, dude. He was going out with an alien lady. She looked like a werewolf. And so he basically he's like, we'll talk about this later, but he's like, just take her to the hole. And he's like, whoa, what? And he's like, to the wormhole. Like, just go look at the ships come in and out. And
that's a decent suggestion, honestly.
But honestly, that's really suggestive, to be watching things come in and out of an orifice in space. So anyway, so he's like, Kira shows up and he's like, I got to talk to you, dude.
Yeah.
Talk to you. And he's like, oh, let me get, it feels like he's like, oh, we're going to gossip. Let me get a snack, dude.
Yeah, I know. He gets a whole meal going. Oh, man. Yeah. He has his whole meal set up. He's like, ooh, I'm going to get a racconcino with this sauce on it. I'm going to get this thing.
He's like, let me get a quiche and let me get a fucking cappuccino.
I forgot that ractaginos were their cappuccinos.
Yeah. The Klingon cappuccino, ractagino.
And so he's like, so we mentioned the runabouts, right? Like, they're new, right?
Well, what do you mean by new? They're new to DS9, but we've had DS9 for a whole season now.
I know, but it's just a new thing. Like, we only had shuttles, but now we
runabouts have been there. Well, are you talking about since before DS9 or since DS9 began?
No, since like they weren't around for TNG.
No,
right?
no,
not until recently.
No.
Yeah.
They just had a roundabout in TNG like an episode or two ago.
The runabout is basically they're in between a shuttle and a full ass ship. So a runabout does have a lot. People. Yeah, it has a lot going for it. To be fair, shuttles can transport people too. Every shuttle has a transporter built in as well. It's just that a runabout is larger. It has weapons built in. It's faster. It's comfier. It's a little faster than a shuttle. Yeah,
it's like an RV. Yeah,
really
it's like an RV versus like a sedan.
Okay,
like
it's a van versus an RV.
Yeah.
So anyway, she's like, Kira's like, I need a fucking RV, baby. And he's like, for what? He's like, he tells her like the Gal Duku or whatever his name is. He's like, oh, I gotta go save him. Like we did some tests. Turns out there's earwax.
She's not going to save a gull.
Yeah.
Because a gull is a very specific thing to say.
Well, you said Guldaku as though it was a permutation of Goldacat, and Goldacat is definitely not who she's going to save.
Okay, she's going to save some sort of dude.
Yeah,
and he's like, all right, and then she's
going to save Signalis.
Yeah,
yeah.
And basically, he was like, no, I don't think so. The way she gets him is that she's like, he's important. Like basically, like there's a problem with like factions, right? Like there's extremists that are like they're the taggers, dude, tagging the place, dude. Not even a nice tag. They're just stupid fucking tagging.
Yeah, it looks dumb.
Yeah, and he's like we need
not even circular.
No, yeah. It's really just jagged fucking edges on the circle, dude. And they're like, hey, we use this dude to kind of unify the factions that are kind of not getting along and kind of have unity. And he's like, all right, that's interesting. And they kind of leave it as a to be determined, right? Like we'll figure this out,
right? And
then he gets a call and he has to go figure this out because there's tagging all over the place,
right?
And he's like, hey, Odo, gotta get these taggers, dude. They're fucking facing all over the fucking.
If they had security cameras, it would.
Cameras are hard.
Yeah,
easy
cameras
to
are
figure
just
out
too hard in the 24th century.
The Cardassians did not believe in cameras.
Yeah, and so he calls the spotted lady.
The what?
Fuck, what's her name? The lady with the spots on her face.
Oh, Dax. That's Dax.
Dax. Yes, he calls Dax. God damn it, dude! I'm gonna write this down one of these days. He calls Dax and he goes, "Hey, I need some advice." And she knows what it's about already. She's like, about letting Kira go on the thing to the Dooku dude. And he's like, "Oh, she told you to." And it turns out she's told everybody.
Yeah,
she's told Miles. Everybody's basically Miles has already figured out how to like cloak the ship to look like a different ship.
Yeah, he's been like, this would be
they've
a
all
fun
been working
thing
on
to
shit
do.
for her, and not.
I don't know. I don't know if I like this little detail of her telling everyone. Like, what is the motivation of writing that and having her tell everyone that she's basically going and she's going to do this?
Well, I don't think it's more that she was letting everyone know what she was hoping to do, and if she gets to do it, she's going to need their help.
I don't know. It feels like she was. I just don't understand telling everybody, the whole ship, basically.
I think she's
gonna do this whole thing when she didn't
I don't think she was telling them that she was going to do it. I think she was telling them,
dude, Lee Nallus
the situation.
Yeah,
I think she was telling them the situation, and then them going like, "Oh, that's actually a good idea to get this guy because blah blah because of the Unify." Like, everyone's seeing this problem. Like, they even see the tagging. So like, she wasn't telling them her plan. She was telling them almost like how would we do this kind of thing. That's how I saw it. Like it wasn't like her telling, "Oh, this is my plan," and then they were like, "Oh yeah."
At the very least, I don't assume she's going around saying, "Cisco's going to give me a runabout, and I'm going to go do this."
Yeah, I don't think she ever said that.
Yeah, and also it's not like them getting Lee Nallis's earring is a secret. No one said like you have to keep this quiet or anything. I think she's probably going to be like, "Oh my god, we found Lee Nallis's earring."
Yeah,
that means he could be alive. Do you guys know what that means?
Who's the Gal Gadot guy? Why do I have that in my mind?
Oh, Gul Dukat shows up later in the episode.
Oh, he's the leader of the Kardashians, right?
He's not the leader. He's just like one of their generals, basically.
Oh, okay. But he's like a head honcho up there, right? Like he's
he's
a famous Kardashian.
He was the first. He was before the Terok Nor, which is the original name of the space station under Cardassian control, turned into Deep Space Nine. He was in control of Terok Nor. So he was the. That's why they always talk to him.
Is he the dude? He's not. No, that was a different guy. That guy that
was his title prefect at the time.
Maybe it was.
I forget. Was he like the prefect in charge?
I'm getting a grasp of this, guys. One of these days, I'm gonna figure this out. Okay,
I honestly forget if he was a prefect, but
so basically, he's like, yeah, you can get the fucking runabout, dude. Stop fucking get the fuck out of here, dude. Shit.
Thing is, I find this like the first time they have written Cisco as a character who is a very different captain from Picard, because I imagine if Picard was put in the same situation, Picard would have been like, all right, well, we need to reach out to the Cardassians and say we have evidence of Lee Nallus being on Cardassia 4, blah, 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 right? Whereas Cisco's option is like, we should do the infiltration mission, without telling the Federation and at the behest of one of the Bajorans.
Which is a lot because it's an act of war, what she's doing, and
if she's caught,
aggression.
It is a
like that's a huge decision to make without really consulting the Federation or anything. Like it's a massive choice what they're doing.
But is it an act of war? Because
they did.
Yeah,
they literally do say,
said,
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Here's the gray area. Because when it happens and they pull it off, the Cal Dugan, whatever his name is, he comes on and he's like, "Hey, I didn't know about this, dude. I didn't know about this. We're gonna release the rest of the guys you left, blah blah." And he releases them. So like, even though they knew what happened, like it's not clear or not whether this dude knew about it or not. That he still had POWs, right?
Right.
He says he didn't know, but we don't know that.
And we likely don't trust him. He's probably just bullshitting.
Exactly.
You know?
So I don't think, and also like they shouldn't have had POWs. So I think even though on paper it looks like it would be an act of war, because they were so sure that they had this dude, his earring and it was DNA records, whatever bullshit they fucking told us. I feel like it wasn't as risky as we make it out to be.
And also, Dax brought up a good point when she convinces Cisco to do it. She basically goes, you know, officially they've declared peace, and officially they have released all prisoners.
Yeah,
do you
they have
think
a big
they really
what about to point to if they get caught doing what they're doing?
Yeah.
How did they know? Again, there was a way, because my whole
earring
thing was like, what if this is an old earring? Like, how did they
That's
know
the other
that he
thing.
was?
Yeah, we didn't know if he was still alive.
Yeah,
We
like,
just-
what if he's?
Well, here's the thing. Maybe they were like, "Oh, this is fresh earwax." You know what I mean?
As it
This is
were,
like
I
so
don't think they
old
said so, but it would have been funny if they said so.
Yeah.
Did they answer like, "Oh, we know for sure that he's"?
Yeah, they didn't definitively
Alive.
say
Yeah.
we know for
Okay.
sure he's that for some reason that wasn't a question. It was just
Which
more
is-
of like we know he's there.
Yeah, which is like a writing thing. Like, don't ask questions, dude.
Don't ask that question.
Don't ask questions. So anyway, so they let Kira go, and he's like, "There's one condition. You got to take Miles O'Brien because he's the first guy out there, dude. He wants to shoot it up, dude. If there's a shootout, he wants to be involved, dude."
Well,
Mhm.
also, I mean, I think there's two things. One, he says, you know, Miles O'Brien is a better pilot than you, and he's technically equipped. But also,
He's like,
if we remember,
well, he's a man, you know.
well, if you remember, Miles actually has a history with the Cardassians, and he's fought them before. Like there was that
He's got a
episode
vendetta, dude.
he explained his backstory where he's like,
Yeah.
he actually kind of has like a bit of a bone to pick with the Cardassians because a lot of his crew were killed by them.
Yeah.
So he
And
doesn't mind
Kira's like-
going on a
Kira's
mission.
Like, "Oh, no, thanks." And he's like, "Oh no, it's not. I'm not asking you. He's going, dude." And I like that part where she's like, "No, I'm good." And he's like, "Nope, no, you're good with him." So, so he goes and then she says, she's like, "Hey, let's get something clear, dude." And he's like, "What?" He's like, "We either come back with his homie or we don't come back at all, dude." And he's like, "I am A-okay with that. I'm okay with that."
Sounds win-win to me. You know?
Yeah, sounds like we're fucking up some people either way, dude.
Look, Keiko doesn't even know I'm gone.
Yeah, Keiko's not even in this episode for her to get mad at me. So
He's like,
oh my god!
when the cat's away, the mouse will play. And so they infiltrate the planet, and there's
this rock planet.
There's a rock planet. It kind of reminds me of remember Rambo First Blood Part 2 when Troutman goes to get really.
Yeah, I don't remember it very well at all. No.
It opens up.
It feels like the same place they use for the other goal camp that they shot.
So
maybe.
So
I did
Rambo
not picture
First
that
Blood
it would
Part
look
2,
like this. Yeah,
I did because I had seen Rambo.
It's just a quarry, isn't it?
Yeah. So they go pick up
Yes.
Troutman goes to pick up Rambo, and he's in this fucking like prison just breaking rocks. And I'm like, what the fuck are they breaking rocks by hand?
Well,
and it never made sense to me as a kid, and this is still not making sense to me. Like there's machines. Like why not use the machines
like,
to?
what are they doing?
Yeah, like
It's
It
but
doesn't
that's the
make any
thing.
sense.
When they depict like slave labor in movies and TV shows, it's always like moving rocks, and you're like,
Yeah,
how
like,
much demand is there for rock moving?
Yeah, what are you guys doing with is there somebody who like big fucking like granite fucking guy that puts on granite countertops and he's like, I need these at bottom dollar, dude. And they're like, got it, dude. Slave labor.
All I know is that it's not real until you hear a harmonica.
Yeah.
So this was not a real camp. You never heard
Yeah.
one. So
Yeah, it's not
So
a real
they
labor
get-
camp.
They get there, and one of the Kardashians is like, "Stop there! What are you guys? What's your business here?"
their plan is crazy. I don't know
and then
why.
Miles O'Brien,
Yeah.
he's like, I brought this whore here.
It's so crazy.
He's like,
it's such a bad plan.
No, it's
such a bad cover.
It's a great plan.
The general logistics of this plan.
It's just one step below Bugs Bunny cross-dressing.
Yeah, it's like it's so strange because it's like, okay, we can't transport them all at once. Yeah. Okay, fine, sure, that's a technical limitation.
Get down there and get
but
them.
We're gonna go down there and seduce them. Wouldn't they just immediately be like, why is there a human and a Bajoran here?
Look, that's what they decided. Just roll for it.
Also, it's funny as
they're
hell.
doing like a D&D roll and hit a 20 and it works.
I try to seduce him. Okay.
So Miles O'Brien's like, here is I brought this whore to this guy, and he's like, well, let me see them titties. he's like,
that's literally what's going on.
Yeah. He was like, I want to see what I'm paying for.
Yeah, and he's like, you can't sample the products until you pay. And he's like, all right, well, let me see them titties. And then she's about to like undo her shirt, and kind of she leans forward, and she fucking fucks him up, dude.
Yeah.
The old look at the titties and get fucked up. And
then there's a shootout. Titty look.
Yeah, there's a shootout, and then like you find out that one of the other people breaking rocks had stolen his earring apparently, and he didn't feel it, I guess. And he's the one who sent it out, and he's like, I'm the one who sent it out, and he's like, this guy's not even like in a hurry to like get out of there. This guy's like, that's fine, dude. Yeah. He's like, they give us food.
He doesn't seem to care much.
He's like,
I got 3 square meals a day. I always go here.
He's like, they don't make us take showers.
Funny how that guy is like, like I smuggled it out of here for you. Great, right?
He's like super happy. He's like, yeah, it's working.
He's like, oh fuck.
They're being chased, and then that dude, he's like, oh, we'll stay behind, dude. We got to get this homie out of here. So they stay behind, and finally they escape. And Kira's like, we can't leave without these. This is exactly like Rambo 2 and Rambo First Blood Part 2 and The Dark Knight with the ending. But this is a lot like Rambo 2 where they're like, we can't leave without the other POWs. And he's like, no, we got to leave. And they leave without him.
But anyway. that part also technically didn't make a lot of sense, because the only reason they didn't use the transporter at the beginning, because apparently they can use them from space, right? Yes. Like while they're in orbit, is the fact that as soon as they transport 2 people away, it would tip them off. There would be confusion everywhere, right? You only have 4 people left.
Yeah.
Right? Just start transporting them in.
Also,
like, why not?
Marvin, they waited like 5 minutes to see if they showed up.
The whole thing was like there's no way to lock on who to because they didn't know for sure. So
they're Bajorans. Like, they can actually separate the signatures. Actually,
there's only 4 Bajorans in the planet left.
They were only confused about which one was Lee Nellis.
Exactly. Yeah. Like which one. So like say he's not. I mean, after the fact, transported.
Sarah. No, when they're right now they're on the ship. I forwarded. They're on the ship. And Kira's like, no, let's wait. While she said, let's wait, they could have zapped 2 people in.
Yeah, there's 4 people left who stay behind to shoot lasers. They could have brought them in.
From locking onto their position whilst on surface.
Yeah, they could have just done that.
The keys need to be in the engine? I don't know. Like what? I'm not sure what the rules are.
They didn't.
It feels like there's a like they're not able to do it for some reason. Well, I guess.
Thankfully, Gul Dukat saved the rest.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Good job, Gul Dukat.
And eventually, they were all saved by, let's say, Gul Dukat.
Are we to believe him? Like the way he says that, he's like, yeah, no, they're safe. They're on their way to safety. No worries. And I'm just like, I don't.
They never went back to him and said, he never sent them. I assume he sent them because they would have made it clear like, he didn't send those people over. I think if they had.
Yeah, I think they did send them. Yeah.
We have to take that as face value because they didn't.
They said the remaining prisoners were en route to Bajor.
Yeah. So
anyway, they get back to the Deep Space Nine, and that homie's hurt, and he's like.
Because he got shot. He got shot.
Yeah, he got shot.
He was one of the only people who got shot.
And Bashir's like, he's like, oh, well, let me treat you. And he's like, no, treat the other ones first. And he's like, this guy wants to just die. He doesn't want to make it.
Yeah. He's very much like, please don't say.
Please don't. Anyway, then the Kardashian says, hey, I sent the remaining people back. Don't worry, blah, blah, blah. And then he's all fixed up. He's all showered. And he looks totally different. He's like, oh, look at this guy. This guy looks interesting. He's not all dirty anymore, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then they have somebody who I really like as an actor show up. And what is his character?
He's kind of like a senator, basically, that shows up.
That guy? The politician who calls himself one?
Yeah, yes.
Oh, I like him.
Yeah. And it's Frank Langella.
Mm-hmm. Who, interestingly, Frank Langella, when he was cast for the episode, he asked to be uncredited because
He asked to what?
He asked to be uncredited because he claimed he auditioned for the show specifically because his children are fans of Star Trek and he was doing it for them. He didn't care about the credit or anything.
Oh, nice.
It's an interesting reason, but
to the point that he didn't want to be known at all to be connected with it.
Apparently, that is the reasoning. I'm not 100% sure why.
Weird reason.
I mean, here's the thing: is that like you have to put yourself in that year, in those years, that doing TV was not prestige back then. Even
that's possible. Yeah.
Even if it was like Whoopi Goldberg was taking a big chance by doing that. Like that was not. That was not true. This was not the prestige years of TV. Like, oh, you can, like, it was kind of like a step down. Like, oh, you're doing soaps. You're basically doing soaps, dude. So I could see why he's like, don't credit me. I'm just doing this for my kids. And then
that's fair. Yeah, that's actually a fair explanation as to why he may not have wanted it on his resume. Yeah.
Although to be fair, I don't know what he was in at the time, movie wise. That would have been like.
Well, I mean, before this,
he was in the
Junior. 70s. He had been in like, he was really known for like, he was a great theater actor, first of all, but he was in Dracula in the 70s, the late 70s. He was in a bunch of stuff. I really like him as an actor. He was in Dave, Body of Evidence. He's been in a bunch of shit by then. He's really well known.
Bad Company.
Yeah.
Dave really would have been the most like prominent recent example of him in like theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of my favorite things that Frank Langella's in is The Ninth Gate. I really like that. It's
oh, okay.
It's
oh my god, The Ninth Gate,
the Roman Polanski movie.
Yes, I haven't thought about that movie in so long.
It's funny. I went on. I'll do that. Like I'll watch a movie and I'm like, oh, this is. I forgot this. I like this. And also don't forget he was also the voice of Archer in Small Soldiers.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, we look that up. Oh my god, that's amazing.
So in Ninth Gate,
I forgot he was the guy who played Nixon in Frost Nixon.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, and yes, that's right. Yes, he also played.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah,
he's just an amazing actor overall. And when I saw him, I was like, oh wow, like they didn't even spoil this in the beginning in the credits. You know, like I was, and I didn't know why, but now your explanation makes sense. Yeah. He was also in Good Night and Good Luck. He's Perry White in the Superman Returns movie.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Overall, just a fucking like top
great character actor.
Yeah, great character actor.
Yeah.
He did a movie called like Frank and Robot maybe a few years back that was really good about him, like, and this little robot like thing. Yeah, it's called Frank and Robot and Frank. Sorry.
This movie. Oh, I know. Yeah, this movie was cute. Yeah. I
like him a lot, and it was great to see him in this. And so he's there, and he's like, hey, he's excited. He's like basically like this dude's gonna help us, and like even like all the people on the base are like looking up. He's like, oh look at this guy, dude. He's fucking the head honcho guy that got saved from the PW camp. And basically, he's got to give a speech. He gives a half-ass speech, dude. Two mice fell into a bucket of water, fucking type shit, dude. and everyone's like, all right, I guess he's been in prison, so you can't expect a lot.
He's been in prison. Maybe he was watching mice a lot, and that's just all it's all in his mind.
Yeah, and Frank Langella's like basically like, oh, we have so many plans for you, blah blah, all this great stuff. And then then it cuts to this scene that I really, really like, which is the quackers counting fucking gold and giving, like, he's splitting up the gold, and he's like, with his brother, he's like, 1 for you, 6 for me, 1 for you, 6 for me. And he's like, this is fucking unfair. And he's like, you're right, dude. 1 for you, 7 for me.
You know what? Life is unfair.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Poor Rom.
And then he leaves. The brother's like, I'm just going to fucking leave.
Yeah, for real though. Like, where are they going with this Rom abuse?
Yeah.
Oh, and then you'll see.
And then they fucking they tag his fucking forehead, dude, with like
they fucking brand him with the circle.
That was crazy.
Yeah, like the circle people reminded me of like Brazil. Like the crazy masks they had on.
Yes,
crazy ass faces.
Right. Yeah. So he gets cured, and he's scared. Like when like Bashir's trying to fix him, he's really like scared. Like they
like, is this gonna leave a scar?
Fucking hold still.
Yeah. And then Kira says something that he loves, dude. So they fix him. Bashir fixes him, and he's like, "Does it look okay?" And she's like, "Yep, you look as handsome as ever. And he's like, oh, he's floating, dude.
Like, really handsome, huh? I'm stupid.
And then yeah,
I'm stupid.
And then you find out that Jake Sully, Cisco comes home and he's like, dude, what's up? How was the thing? And he's like, oh, I didn't have, she canceled basick And it's a good lesson on like,
I actually really like that scene.
Yeah. It really shows how like caring he is. And like, it really is a big contrast to like Picard, who like had no way of dealing with children, period. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is a weird thing. Like, I know,
or like Worf, how he treats Alexander.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Or like how Beverly treats. Remember
Leslie.
when they were going to die, and she wanted to spend her last minutes with Picard and not her son.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a big contrast, like, because like I know a lot of people that don't have kids, but like no one is as awkward as Picard. You know what I mean? like I know people who have like no concept of like what you do with kids at what age. Like it's just what you talk to them about. Like I know people like that, but like they manage. They're like, oh, once you're in for like a minute of talking to somebody, you're like, we figured this out. I know what level to talk to you.
Remember the very first episode of TNG, he calls Riker into his office and he goes, I need you to help me with children. And you're like, what? Yeah. Why is that his first directive as first officer?
Yeah. Is that one of his character personality traits where he's just not good with kids at all, Yeah,
that's something they come up with every so often.
Yeah, but I feel like it's so weird. I've always found it weird.
But then my counterpoint to that is I feel like that should have been dispelled with the Inner Light.
Yeah.
He should have learned how to interact with kids once he finally like lived a family life.
Yeah, exactly.
Like for decades.
Yeah. Once Inner Light happened, he should have almost had a completely different personality and like almost.
Yeah,
we brought that up before, but I mean, like at minimum or at
minimum, he should have.
At least I would have enjoyed him to get that out of it.
Yeah. What if they have like another like kids day and like
how cool would it have been if like a kid shows up and he is like completely different. He's like sweet to them and like knows how to deal with them because he had this lifetime.
And he sings
kids.
like a weird traditional song out of nowhere, and it's like,
and he's
where did that come from?
Let me show you with my pipe. And he's like does the weird hand things.
Yeah.
It could have been such a great character thing, but nope. Let's never talk about that again.
Except the one time.
So it's a sweet moment, and I really like it, and this is one of the reasons why I like this episode a lot. And then you have this lizard ghoul, and he's like, "Hey, I had a stowaway. I captured him, and it's a dude.
Yeah,
it's the Dark Knight, dude." And he's like,
that's the Dark Knight.
So he
Batman stowed away on a boat to try to escape Gotham.
He's like, "What's up, Batman? What's going on, Batman?" And he's like, "I don't want to be Batman."
Because we have to chase him.
Yeah, and he tells a story of how he became this legend, dude. Yeah. And then Cisco's like, "Yeah, so what?" Basically, like who cares? Like you want.
We should explain what the legend is. So
the legend is he killed some dude. He found a naked dude.
Yeah,
to be honest, he saw a naked dude, and
he
the dude went for his gun.
Someone taking a shower.
Yeah,
and taking a bath.
I thought that when he first told the story, I thought he was going to end in a different way, dude.
Yeah,
I thought it was going to be like. So it turns out
No. I thought it was gonna be like, and then they said that I liked male aliens and I didn't, so I shot that guy that said I liked male. I thought it was going like completely different. Yeah, I mean, like
I see.
And it was a fit of rage because he said I liked that I was gay, but it didn't. It was like no, I shot this dude and he was unarmed basically. And everyone else made the legend like, oh, dude, this guy is a great killer of.
I like to imagine that their retelling of the legend is that like, oh, the fight was so intense that the guy's clothes fell off.
Yeah. He's like, this guy's shooting was so precise. This guy's shooting was so precise that he shot off his belt. Pants came off, dude. Shot off the shirt off.
That's
his
the only
back,
explanation you got, because when you find them, one's dead and they're both naked.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is very odd.
So he tells a story of how like the story,
or maybe one's naked.
Yeah, they're both naked, dude. If you know what I mean.
I forget if they were both or not.
No, it was just him. It was just a ghoul who was naked because he fell on a hill.
His body fell on top of me, and his penis fell inside of me. I don't know how that happened.
That's what made me think like that's where the story was going. Like,
it was very strange.
Like, I don't know why they needed to add that. I feel like he added that for like I feel like something fishy was going on.
My face accidentally landed right in his crotch.
Yeah. He's like it was weird. The wind picked up his body. You're like, but it's a heavy body. It's like, no, it was a strong wind.
Yeah.
And he basically tells the story, and Cisco is like, no one gives a shit. Like we need this fucking the symbol. We need the Dark Knight, dude.
Yeah.
It's the hero we need, dude. And so he tells him like,
you're the hero we deserve.
Yeah, you gotta do it, buddy. And he's like, it's not like nobody's asking you to fight, dude. He's like, no one's gonna test you. Like, oh, go on a duel, dude. He's like, it's just your symbol, dude. No one's gonna tell you to go to war, dude. Chill out, dude. You're just a symbol.
Yeah,
and
which is like, fair. It's also a fair point that he basically is like, hey, you could just.
He doesn't want to be the symbol, though. He didn't ask for that.
He's like, just
kind of weird alternate take on Kales coming back or Kalis coming back.
Khaleesi, dude.
Kind of, yeah. But except this time, Cisco's basically telling him, hey, look, just go on a public speaking tour, get that bag, and that's
become a consultant, a private consultant.
Yeah. It's gonna it'll be totally worth it. Yeah.
Write a book.
So he accepts it. He does it, and he leaves, and then he comes back like a few months later or sometime after, right?
Like the next day, almost.
Yeah, it feels like it's the next day, and he comes back with Dracula, Frank Langella. And he's like, hey, guess what, dude? I accept that they made a new position for me. Real nepotism shit, dude. They made a new position, but I'm also now the ambassador to Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, so what's up with like everybody's thinking like, so Kira's like, where's she in? Is she going to be below you? Like, how many people do you need?
That's a really weird way to like say when they announced it all.
Yeah, it was
the way it unfolded.
Yeah, and she's like, no,
it was very awkward.
She's we're gonna boot her out of here. She's gonna have a new position in Bajor.
Yeah,
like why set it up like that? I don't know.
So part of me thinks like, I wonder if he did it on purpose, like to be like, oh, you want me to be this? I'll do this, but now I'm gonna fuck you over, dude. I'm gonna take over her position. Your homie, she's gone, dude.
That was a thought I had as well. Like he might be trying to be spiteful now that he's been forced into a role he didn't want.
Yeah. Or he wants to be close to Cisco to be like, well, you have to help me. If I have to do this, then you have to help me then.
That's another sensible way to look at it.
Yeah, now Cisco knows a secret, and it's better to be with somebody that knows your secret.
And Cisco's not a Bajoran, so you could always consult him to be like, what do I do now?
Yeah, what do I do? Actually, there's both a negative and a positive spin to the part 2 of this. We'll see what happens.
Also, it's not like, even though Kira currently has made friends and is friends with a bunch of people at DS9, it's not like it's inherently a bad like career move to be reassigned to the planet.
To be honest, she loves like her religion, dude. Like she loves Bajor religion. So like I think maybe like she's used to this, but like I don't know. I don't see this as a step down too much. I get it. Like, oh, as a viewer, we got used to it and we like her. And we like
that's
her in her,
mainly what this is.
Yeah, we like her whore outfit, you know. But like,
yeah, that's mainly what this is.
Do you really think they're going to proceed with this? I wasn't sure if this is.
But the whore outfit?
Actually, the direction they're going to go for sure.
Well, that's why they have a part 2.
That's what
I guess we'll find out on the part 2.
And that's why I said like there's both a positive and a negative spin to this. So
we don't know.
Anyway, I'm going high on this one, dude. I'm gonna go with like an 8.5 on this one.
Okay. I give it like an 8 too. I personally think.
I'm at an 8 on this.
Yeah, it's like
I think I'm at an 8 too. I'm at an 8 as well.
It's not like the most amazing episode in the world. I think the thing I find the most intriguing about
it, the half extra point because of the Cisco scenes, dude. They were good, and the earlobe scene. I like that, dude. And the whore outfit kicks it up another half, dude.
I like that we're starting to get more of the politicking that goes on. That the show will eventually become known for, like we see a bit of the racism in that, Jake is rejected from his date because he's human, not a Bajoran. And, we see some of like the whole positioning people as like political leaders, not because they're qualified, but because they're required to be in that position. And, we see
I'm sorry. I didn't mention that. Like, that's why he got turned down because he was human.
Yeah. And then like, I like the idea of Sisko approaching the problem solving in a very different way than Picard would have. Like Sisko okays the espionage mission, whereas like Picard would have been like, no, we should go through the diplomatic channels.
Picard's approved a couple of under the table things himself, or like fudged things here and there.
But I don't think he would have done that without the permission of the Federation, especially something this large. Like I think Sisko's more willing to generally side on the Bajorans. I
think that's definitely how they present Sisko, but I'll bet that if you went like item by item, you would find surprising things about Picard. Like,
yeah, but here's the thing: I feel like part of Sisko's what you feel is him going like around Starfleet and stuff.
Yeah. I think
for me, it's more like the way I see it is like it takes forever. They're way out there. It's going to take forever to get a message out there back to Starfleet, and then it's going to come back. I'm trying to make an executive decision here. It's fine.
Yeah. That's kind of what's going on.
They're too out there to be too connected to Central Command.
Exactly.
Yeah. So he's kind of making his own frontier decisions that he knows Starfleet will be, presented for, but he's willing to take the hit. And, in this case, it worked out super well. It was like a win-win for everyone. Like nothing went wrong so far.
Right. They definitely freed some prisoners. That is an objective good.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't know what waits for us in part 2.
That's the thing. It's like
unless they're not really the actual prisoners.
And also,
they're shapeshifters.
It's kind of nice that this was a 2-parter that didn't feel like it was just set up. Like it felt
it's
like
not for a cliffhanger at the end.
Like we said, this episode could have been self-contained if he didn't come back. Like the last minute of this goes away, and it's a good wrap up. Like
it strikes me more like modern writing, where it's like, it feels more like we're also putting things down for us like later in the season, but we have enough here for an episode.
Yeah, it feels a lot more like, okay, we let's finally write a different type of show than TNG. We don't have to write the same type of story structures. We can just kind of do what we want to do. And, it's finally becoming a little more unique. Because there were some episodes in season 1 of DS9 where you're like, oh, that's easily just a TNG episode, but it's happening on DS9, And, it's nice. If you go to the Discord rating, it's actually pretty split between a 7 and an 8. So I'd give it a 7.5. Wow. So, yeah. They're around in the same area as well. So, all right. Well, thanks everybody for listening to our discussion of the first part of the Homecoming, basically. If you guys liked it, like what you heard, you can maybe give us a like or a rating or, comment wherever you are, either on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or YouTube, wherever you are, give us a comment or a like or a rating or do whatever you want, And also, maybe if you guys would like to get early access to these episodes, you can always join our Patreon or join our YouTube membership. Basically, both of those are only $1.99 a month to get you early access to new episodes. Those episodes are ad-free, YouTube ad-free, and podcast ad-free, like the ones that they dynamically burn into the episodes. And it also gets you access to the private Discord and a few other perks, like, your name in the ticker and the YouTube version and stuff like that. The difference between the YouTube version and the Patreon is that the Patreon is basically audio only. So if you like having a dedicated podcast RSS feed that you can just pop into your podcast app of choice, the Patreon is for you. If you prefer to have a video component with your early access, go for the YouTube membership. But yeah, otherwise they're functionally the same. They get you access to the same Discord, etc. Also, check out our merch store, fugitiveframes.store. Currently, we have 2 t-shirts and a hoodie, but we're adding a 3rd t-shirt in July. And we're hoping to get back the photo shoot of that quite soon. And also, if you guys would like to send us an email, you can always send us an email at contact@newbiestartrek.com. That's contact@newbiestartrek.com. And we may read your email out like this. This subject line is called Favorite One-Time Characters from Rob. Hi, this is Rob from Minnesota. Listening to your podcast helped me get...
Okana, dude.
There's a few characters that keep on being the stars of these sorts of questions, and I hate having to trot them out every time because they're the only ones I ever remember anymore.
But it's true. Okana is true. But let me read out his thing.
Yeah, well, hold on. We don't even know the question. Hold on.
Okay.
Spoiler alert. Okana.
Listening to your podcast helped me get through a colonoscopy prep. But enough about my B plot. I wanted to ask the team, which one-time character do you wish would make more appearances? I've noticed you often mention wanting to hear more from certain characters, and I laugh because having seen all the episodes multiple times, I know the answer is usually nope, they never come back. Anyway, keep up the great work. We mentioned Okana.
Even I know that's the usual answer.
Obviously, we mentioned Okana. I think at this point, the character I definitely wish always was recurring was that lady that Picard had a relationship with the flute. And
yeah, she would have good things to come back to.
Which lady? What
was her name again?
I forgot her name. I should look
forgot
it
her
up.
name too.
Yeah, Basha.
Did it start with a
no,
D?
it wasn't Vosh. It was the other lady.
No.
Because Vosh is a recurring character.
Yeah, she's shown up 3 different times.
Yeah,
maybe even
the flute lady. Are they married?
Oh yeah. So the episode was called Lessons, and the lady he fell in love with was a musician named Lieutenant Commander Nella Darren. So it was Darren.
Right, Darren.
Oh, okay. Was this the flute episode? The flute hands episode?
Yeah. The flute had the one where someone else was playing his flute
hands. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And that one would have been great if she kept coming back because Oh,
well, what was her deal? She's like, I can't endanger you like I did. Was that the problem?
No, it was more of him saying listen, I can't ever. Or they were both I don't want to be put in a position where we're in a relationship, but suddenly I have to be your captain and put you in danger. And I don't know how I would ever feel about that. And she was like, well, if I ever got hurt because of something you did, I never forgive myself, blah, blah, blah. So goodbye, I guess. I'll never come back.
I don't like her. She can go to hell.
Well, her character was cool. It's just the way
I'm pretty sure during the episode you wished that she could stick around, and you were just mad that she left.
Yeah. That's probably it.
Yeah, so she was cool.
Don't be all you're ugly anyway. I don't like you.
So the question is our favorite one-time.
Yeah, character we've only seen once and never returned.
The famous Okana, dude.
The outrageous Okana.
That guy fucks.
Literally multiple times.
Kamala from The Perfect Maid always gets brought up.
Yeah, she because we could check in on her. Famke Johnson.
Oh yeah, dude. But
yeah,
you know what?
To be fair, her story's
she's
her story's also
her
kind
story's
of over.
mostly concluded. It's just if they wanted to, they could dig it up if they wanted to.
Dick it up,
dick it up too.
About Dan, I hear you.
I had to say it again because I knew how it sounded.
I don't know who my
that's not what I meant to say because it would mean different things.
Yeah. Picard definitely wants to dick her up.
So did Riker.
I don't know.
I think another one that
who's the oh no, let me think for DS9 only or TNG2?
No, any character that we've seen so far. Yeah. One character I thought of would be nice to have a return was the Trill that Beverly fell in love with. What if she came back and now she's even in a different body again, and now Beverly's
speaking of Trill, thank you for giving me this segue into it. I like the bit about that came up in this episode with Dax and Cisco.
Oh yeah,
when he says this is going to be about baseball. It's like, you love baseball. It's like Curzon loved baseball, not nearly as much as you think you did. And she it's just a little more.
I like that.
Dax and stuff. So I like that.
Jotzi is like, not me though. I like talking about medicine.
I'm trying to think of people that were just one time.
Well, we can. Let me see.
Who's that guy that wanted to kill himself?
Oh, the famous Okana.
Oh, that was Cogsworth. Yeah.
Cogsworth.
Yeah, he played the scientist who, if he
he had to kill himself. He didn't,
Yeah, but what if he didn't die?
Right. He felt a duty to kill himself, and thus he wanted to.
Okay, I'm looking at a list of one-off characters.
Yeah, I like that guy. That guy was cool.
Yeah, that guy was neat. What if
he had to come back as a Force ghost?
Yeah, I need some reminders here. I'm sure there are good ones that I'm just not remembering anymore.
Oh yeah, there's
don't forget the Okana, the famous Okana.
Oh, one of the things I think would be really neat actually is Ishara Yar, Tasha Yar's sister. She was only there for one episode, so that would have been really neat if she came back and it's like, okay, I've I'm
she
not
came back for only one episode. I thought she was there for a few.
You're talking about Romulan half sister, right?
No. Ishara Yar is Tasha's actual sister. Like,
wait. Sorry.
Yeah. What happened to her? What happened
to Sarah Connor like?
The Sarah Connor like, yes. So she basically was on a planet with warring factions.
Yeah.
And basically she duped the Enterprise into getting involved in their war when she was otherwise pretending to like, oh, I'm going to be a member of the crew. I'm going to do nice stuff. But then, I
forgot how that episode ended, actually.
I don't even remember it now.
Yeah. Well, also...
Not memorable enough, so not for me.
Remember the episode where that one Romulan defected? The Defector. That was the name of the episode. I remembered it.
Yeah, remember, revisiting him would be kind of interesting.
Yeah, because
he was stuck.
How is that Defector Romulan like acclimating to being part of the Federation now? That might be neat.
Would Hugh count? Is he not considered
Hugh counts
too often?
Well, no, but
he came back. Yeah, dude, that doesn't count.
But it'd be cool to see him again.
Only once, or
I think it's. I guess technically the question did say one time. Yeah. So
yeah. Like if Hugh hadn't come back yet, I would have said Hugh definitely is a good pick.
Yeah.
But I actually do really like what they did, or the idea they had with Hugh by the time he came back.
He should have done a little robot.
Would have been cool to see a little more of it, though.
He's like, what have you learned, Hugh? What have you been up to, Hugh? They're all excited. He's
this.
Like, I can now dance.
But I am also now depressed.
I have also learned how to fuck.
The only thing the Enterprise taught me was depression.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's like, I discovered the drug
like over and over again. Feelings lead to despair in this show.
He's
all
like,
those who are unfeeling and gain feeling.
Hate leads to temptation, and temptation leads to
dancing. Yeah.
You really missed the boat on that one, dude.
Yeah, you don't know. It could be either way. Either it could lead to the dark side, or it could lead to dancing. That's why they always take the risk. Because if it leads to dancing,
it's sometimes a win-win, sometimes a lose dance.
I'm not following anymore.
This
no clue where we're at.
Hugh loves dancing.
Yeah. All right, Rob. Rob from Minnesota. Thank you for the question.
Thank you, Rob from Minnesota.
Yeah, I hope your butthole's okay, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because he had a colonoscopy. Didn't he say that?
Oh shit, you're right.
Come on, dude. Come on.
I was like, what? What happened to his butt? Why?
Look, Ricardo actually remembered the context in which the letter was brought
I remember
up.
only selective things, dude.
I didn't even remember. I was like, whoa.
Ricardo has trained me to believe everything that comes out of his mouth is now a non sequitur. That I just go, what? What is that about?
But also sometimes it's not. Right?
I struggle these days.
I don't know how I ever worked with him efficiently. We would just be like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
What are we doing? Dancing. That is what we're doing.
Well, it's usually not non sequitur. It's usually a word association.
Yeah. Oh,
it's a word association, non sequitur.
Yeah. I think I have a HD TV. Right.
HD.
HGTV. That's what you got. Yeah, you love that.
HD.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening to this episode of Newbie Star Trek. If you'd like to see more things we do, you can head on over to Fugitive Frames.
Why do you have an accent all of a sudden?
Yeah, dude.
I don't know.
Well, you sound like a British robot.
Because it's not over till it's over. That sounds like
all of a sudden. Wait, I love that guy. He's our one reoccurring guy. That guy.
What was his name?
Bring back Buck.
Yeah, Buck Buckeye. Bring back Buck Buckeye.
Buck Buckeye. There we go.
Buck Buckeye was the only alien of that episode who's like, I want to stay, but I want to stay as Buck Buckeye. He just hangs out.
Bring back that Rick Astley guy.
Oh, the guy with the powers. Oh, and check in on.
You know what? I actually got bored of being alone on the planet by myself.
Yeah.
What if there was an episode?
Give me another species to genocide.
Well, I was about to say, what if there's an episode where Q shows up again, and they're like, and he shows up, and he's like, you know what? We're tired of Q shenanigans. Here's the only other guy who could probably challenge you,
and he kills Q.
Yeah, he could.
Oh my god, no! My favorite is Mike.
Mike.
Oh,
From Breaking Bad.
From the planet. Yeah.
Why? But why? Like he brings nothing new to the
No, I just like it because he's Mike. He's Mike from Breaking Bad. That's all.
But we're talking about characters, not like famous actors we like. I like Frank Langella, but I liked
his character. His character had this like crazy accent on this planet.
You like this character?
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting.
You didn't say that when we did the episode?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I would be curious to listen back to that episode and see what you were saying about him at the time.
I like that it was basically Mike.
I think you're just saying it is because it's Mike. We're talking about characters, Mike. Not actors.
Yeah. Jonathan Banks is Jonathan Banks regardless of what he plays. Mike.
That's Mike.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mike.
Yeah, because like, even when he played Commissioner Gordon in Arkham Knight, it's just Jonathan Banks again. It's just Mike again. It's just the exact same.
He's a real
Banksy. He plays Jonathan Banks plays Jonathan Banks.
Yeah, you hire Jonathan Banks to play.
Yeah,
Jonathan
dude.
Banks.
No one can play Jonathan Banks like Jonathan Banks.
Yeah, Jonathan Banks plays Jonathan Banks plays Jonathan Banks.
Except Jonathan Safes.
Wait, I'm blanking here. Is Arkham Knight the third Rocksteady game?
The third one, yeah. It's the third one.
Okay, just making sure that's what you were talking about there, because I didn't play through it all the way.
Yeah, Asylum, then City, then Origins out of nowhere, but that's by WB Montreal, and then Arkham Knight. And that was what happened. But yeah, head on over to fugitiveframes.com to see all the other things we do, including the Would You Stay Tuned podcast. So yeah, check that down, gulp that down. And also next time we're going to bounce back to Star Trek TNG with an episode titled Liaisons. So yeah, there we go. Liaisons. All right, everybody. We'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Take care, everyone.
May the Okana be with you.
You and your Okana. You love that guy.
Yeah, dude.
Way more than before. I don't remember him loving him that much back in the day. It's like saying it made him love it more.
In the episode he came up, he did really like him, and he was like, "Man, I wish he was like he like showed up." Like he kind of. I think you were saying you were hoping you wished Billy Campbell had been Riker instead of Jonathan Frakes.
Oh yeah, 100%. I still believe it.
Yeah. So, and you also brought up the theory that Billy the Okana is actually secretly Wesley's dad, because you were like, they're standing right next to each other. I was the one who
pointed out that they look similar.
Yeah,
you pointed out. Say that they look similar.
It was you. Yeah, you pointed it out that like
this guy fucked so many people that he could be everybody's dad, dude.
Yeah, he could.
Yeah.
All right.